will get their own individual question. So this question is solely for Judge Krause, and it has been prepared by the League of Women Voter, and it's based on the questions, the responses to the questions that you had provided.
Okay.
So it says, you indicated in your opinion is that the greatest obstacle to justice is financial resources. What would you propose to cure this obstacle?
Honestly, I don't think I have a proposal to cure it. The budget is set out not by the judges. We are affected by the budget as it's handed down. Same with the Office of the Public Defender. Part of my answer was that a lot of the problems stem from, one, the Public Defender's Office is severely under budgeted. So the courts, in essence, with everything included, are under this tremendous strain from being under budgeted. There's really nothing we can do unless people actively try to have the budget changed for the courts. But unfortunately, what happens is most of the active people in politics don't spend time in court. So they don't know how the system works. Most of you probably have never come in front of one of us, so you honestly don't know how it works. So unless people actively get involved with the budget and how the budget is done, nothing can really change, and I don't have any proposals as a judge of how that can change. Another thing I said was that the normal individual doesn't have the resources to go with an appeal. So if a judge makes a bad decision, if the judge doesn't take their time to consider the facts or consider that maybe they don't know everything and they rush to a decision, then it would have to go to an appeal. Average citizens can't afford an appeal, so they're stuck with that decision. And unfortunately, there's no way to help that unless we appoint more public defenders to do the appeal, and then you're back to the situation where the public defender's office is under budgeted. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge Brown. The next question is to Cameron Shackelford and from the League. In your answers, you said it is incumbent on officers of the court to elevate only the most qualified candidates to the bench. Do you believe there should be a body, such as a judicial nominating commission, to screen people prior to them becoming a judicial candidate, even in elections? Thank you.
Thank you. That's actually a very interesting question. As most people probably know, when it comes to the federal judiciary and our higher level courts in the state, we have a judicial qualifications commission that does exactly that. They screen candidates and they serve them up to the governor for appointment, and in that way we make sure that we have qualified candidates that are going to the seats by appointment. I think, as everybody knows, that process has become a bit politicized, and so I'm not sure that pushing that kind of system down to the county or the circuit court level to screen candidates would do anything other than become another politicized mechanism. But that being said, I think there would be some value in having a nominating commission to screen the candidates, to see that to ensure that whoever is being nominated for the bench does have a certain foundation of qualifications and a bit of credibility to be able to assume the seat. But we have to keep the politics out. Thank you.
The next question to candidate Wayne Colbert. You recommended more funding for drug and mental health treatment to curb criminal issues. If there were to be more funding for this, where should the cuts be made, or how would you find additional funds in our court system to pay for it?
Thank you very much. The biggest mental health facility, pardon me, in Seminole County is the Seminole County Jail. It costs you $80 a day to house people at Seminole County Jail, up to $123 depending on their classification. If they're not in the jail, they don't cost you money, and that frees it up. That's where your money comes from. You're already spending it. It's just going the wrong way. We could have a lot of treatment for these folks. There's a lot of different things that we could do. Most people have mental health and drug issues. A lot of bipolar people also suffer from drug addiction because in their altered state, they try to modify that with cocaine, some of them do with alcohol, things of that nature. Dual diagnosis, like they do at Crossroads, would be excellent. If we could expand their budget, and they would help our community immensely. Because what happens is people get incarcerated when they commit a crime, usually when they're in an altered mental state or under the influence of drugs, and then they're in the jail. We go out, we see them, we have to have a psychologist come out and assess them, and then we do a treatment plan. In misdemeanors, they can get out, but sometimes in felony cases, they have to go up to the Department of Children and Families takes them to the mental health facility for us to rehabilitate them. Now, if we were to get them out back in society through treatment initially, we would save a tremendous amount of money, and if we could help them, they're more likely to become good citizens and not commit crime and be happier people.
Thank you. Before we go on the next round of questions, if anyone who has questions on index cards can raise their hand, and someone will come along and pick them up.